All right, good morning, y'all. Got the chickens out in the yard pecking, having a good morning, and we've got a nasty bowl going. Let me show y'all what we got here. We got 5 South Alabama whitetails on the bowl. We'll take y'all through the whole process, all the steps it takes to make a pretty European skull mount, however you want to call it. I'm gonna show y'all how to do it and get it done. We got simply a galvanized pot, bucket, however you want to say. That is, pick that up at Tractor Supply. Got you a turkey fryer from Walmart, hooked up to a 30-gallon propane tank there. So basically, all you got to do, first step is to get it right. Make sure you know where to cut behind the deer head whenever you go to cut it off after you harvest it. The biggest thing that a lot of people mess up, they'll cut too far up, closer to the ears, which sometimes they can get into the skull, actual skull of the deer, which that's what you don't want. That you want to get on that first vertebra right there, normally about 2 to 3 inches behind the ears, and just go straight across the neck. Then you got it. These heads have been sitting out in my barn for about at least a month and a half, in which y'all can only imagine the stink that is going on. But to me, I find it easier to get them done that way. There seems to be all the meat and everything, fur and the skin, it kind of falls off a lot easier after you bull it. But anyway, you got simply just water. A lot of people mix Dawn and different chemicals to try to help with the smell and help with the fatty slime that tends to come off of them. You don't need all of that. All you simply need is some water, a good pot, cooker, and then some gas bottle. So you always want to try to submerge them as much as you can. I try to get them as far down in there as I can. As these start to boil, they will kind of work themselves on down in the pot. The water will evaporate and kind of bubble over a little bit, and then I'll have to add some more water. But kind of how I've always done it, this is your biggest thing that you want to get right. You want to get your gas right. How I've always done that and judged off of that is just kind of trial and error, unfortunately. You want to try to get it to where your flame isn't too hot, but it ain't too low. That right there is too low. If you crank it on up, just to where you can hear a roar, that's where you want it. You don't want it too low or too high, because if you got it too high, I've had skull caps separate because it gets so hot so quick. And then also your flames, you don't want them to where they're rolling out around your pot, because they can burn the bottom of your beams, which I've had that happen, but it doesn't necessarily hurt them. You can just wipe the black soot off is all it is. But that's really about all it takes. You got them in there completely submerged. I'll probably have to come back and add some water here in about another hour or so. And then about 3.5, 4 hours in, I should be able to take them off, and I'll show y'all how that next step of the process works. All right, so they have now been on the bowl for about 3 to 4 hours. You can kind of see there's a steam coming off of them, and then you got that foam that's kind of risen to the top. Everything is still intact. You can see the ears and the skin and everything's there. Had a little bit of boil over. Had to refill it at about an hour and a half, some more water. But anyway, here are all the other tools that you'll need to finish this. So I got a bucket to put the nasty stuff in, and I'll show you all about that. Simple little brush you can buy at Dollar General, and a good sharp knife. I've used this old Havalon that we've had, and interchangeable blades. It kind of is the easiest and comes in the handiest. So that pressure washer with the regular tip. I mean, it's this white tip. You want to make sure you don't have too much of a pressure on it. And then cinder block. Kind of what I do is I'll stand this up like this, have something to kind of sit it down on, because if you don't, you'll end up creating a pocket in there and the water will rise up, and when you go and pressure wash, the stuff will splat back in your face. So you want to kind of have it where the water can seep out up under the brick. And then I've got boots on, I'd recommend, and I got these rainproof pants on. That way it'll kind of help me out. All right, so say just pick which one you want to get rolling with first. I'm gonna go with this one, and this is something you got to be careful with. Always keep inventory of what you got on each head. What I mean by that, so let me show you. Okay, so keep inventory. It's got your nose pieces still on there, so sometimes your nose pieces, they might fall off down in there. Your teeth might fall off, so keep an eye on that as you pulling them out. So you want to let it cool off. You can see the steam kind of coming off. Everything's kind of just fell off itself. And what I'm going to do now is just get this knife, and then you'll just essentially go, don't cut towards the bone, because you can't cut into the bone. With the bone is kind of soft and brittle right now, but you want to cut away from the bone. So ease that knife up all the way to the bases of the antlers, and then you'll just peel that off. And I'll set this phone up and kind of show y'all as I do these. Then peel that nose piece off, take your bottom jaw out, and then I'll show you how to pop the ear sockets out. And then you can pressure wash it, clean it up, and yeah, I'll show y'all how that works. All right, now I'll show y'all how to do these ear sockets. So you got right here some leftover fatty and stuff stuck to it, and again, that'll come off as you're doing the pressure washing. But these little bone pieces right here, they're loose. They're kind of sitting in there wiggling, but they're locked in place to where they're there, but it's not needed. And it actually, just get you a simple old nasty rusty screwdriver. It's a hollow cavity inside there. You just wiggle it down in there, just pop in. You can hear it kind of go inside it, that ear cavity. And then you just pop out, and that whole ear cavity right there, this is the eardrum essentially, it just comes out. So do that for both sides, and then that helps all of that gunk get out. And then it also allows you a little hole that you can run a piece of wire or something through to help hang it on the wall when you're done with it. So ta-da, that one's pretty much done for right now. Need to get the pressure washer on it, and then we'll go from there on to the next. All right, so same thing. You see that just fell off. That's that back, or that first vertebra. It kind of just peels right off on its own. Once you cut this off, what's attached to the top here, just do that cut away from the bone deal. You see that just fell off. Grab it, just peel, and these are the ones I like the most. So easy to do. Just cut up to the bottom of that burr, that base of that horn, and just peel it off. And all that just fell off, just like that. Check my inventory. I got my teeth, I got my nose piece. That's it. All that nastiness is off. You take a pressure washer to that, and it's basically done. I mean, all that's left is whitening. You see some fatty stuff there sticking to it. You got the ear sockets. You just work your screwdriver in, hear it go in there, and then just a little further, pop it out. Pop it out. That's it. And you got that little hole right there. But now you can run a piece of wire through and hang it on your wall. Normally what I do is I get all these done that I can, and then all of them done, and then I get the pressure washer out. I had to put this one back in the bowl because it had a little bit more stuck in there, a little bit of brain matter inside still. So just let that go back in there as I'm cleaning these, and then make it easier. Y'all like that? Look, that one right there's got him a piece. All right, so I'd say we're about, I don't know, 30 to 45 minutes into cleaning these things. They are all done. Got them pretty well off. What I'm about to do now is just get this water hose, about to rinse them off. And I'll get that brush right there and I'll clean them up a little bit more. And then I'll show y'all how we get these things white. Pretty sick to see how nasty that thing was earlier. How clean it is now, and then I'll show y'all how clean it gets even more. Once you put that whitening on it, it'll turn that bone white, take all that nasty coloration out. Or you could just leave it the way it is. You don't even necessarily have to turn that bone white. All right, so we out here in the barn, got them all cleaned up, ready to go. Got a little bit of stuff left on the bases right here, but for the most part, they're pretty dang clean, look pretty good. Excuse the mess in here, but this is our little workshop, little barn. We keep everything stored. But so whitening these things, again, it makes it more presentable, cleans it up, makes it really nice and neat so you can hang it up on your wall. But all I got here, again, gloves are essential for this part, because if you get this stuff on your skin, it burns and it can turn your skin actually white. It's pretty stout stuff. But I got a painter's cup, paintbrush. This little 2-inch paintbrush is what I use. I've got this powder solution, and again, you can get this stuff from Lowe's, obviously. You can get this stuff from Sally's Beauty Salon down here in the South is where we get it. Any hair salon should carry it, should be able to order it, but it's clear, I ain't even gonna try to say that, BW2. And again, this is stuff that I've learned over the years, people that's taught me. It's that powder solution, and then that 50 volume cream peroxide developer. And that's just cream, straight full. You can do, they have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. It kind of goes up in increments, so I've learned. I've used to use 40. I just tend to use 50 now if I can get it. You can get this stuff in a big jug, and it is a little bit easier to use. I got somebody coming out now. You coming out to help me?
Yeah, but there's some bubbles in here.
There's some bubbles in there?
Yeah. I think there's some bubbles in here, so...
You want to come help Daddy?
Yeah, but what are you doing?
I'm working on these deer heads. You want to help me?
I'm going to play outside with my bubble machine.
Okay, we'll play outside with your bubble machine. Go over there and play on the trampoline or something, okay? Daddy will watch you.
Doctors have those gloves.
Doctors have these, yeah. You like that?
Mm-hmm.
Ain't that cool?
Yeah. He's very soft too.
Okay, Daddy's about to get to going. Hey, you be good out here, okay? Hey, look, don't go over that way, okay? Don't go over there. It's nasty.
Okay.
Okay, baby. Love you. All right, so anyway, this is what we got. Get that stuff from your hair salon, you're ready to go. We got 5 heads to do. This right here should do that. I'm hoping it should be right there at the borderline of it, so we'll see. But what I'm gonna do, again, you need gloves on for doing this part because this stuff can get on you and it's kind of nasty, but 2 scoops of this powder, and I kind of do a little scoop there. Go ahead and pour my liquid in. You don't want to put all of it, but kind of what I've learned, it's about right there is all I want for that first mixture. And then I'm going to do a little bit more powder right there. All right, now this little tool here I'm going to use to mix it. Just get that as mixed up as you can. I don't want to do that, and then the rest I can get that with the brush. Okay, now very first thing that I was told when I started doing this, so game warden, a taxidermist showed me and told me, use as much of this as you see fit. Coat it, absolutely just drench it in it, and that will ensure that this turns as white as you can. Again, when I'm starting to do this, I'm not going to be able to hold this, but what I want to do is just get right up to the base with this brush. Just right there. Anywhere this white stuff is going to get, it's going to turn it bleach white. So you want to coat it right there. Just cut it just like you painting, but get it right up there on the edges. And again, what I'm going to do, pick this thing up, twist it all around, get as much as I can, get it all in these cracks, get it all in the nose cavity, and coat it. Anything that you get on the horn, just have some paper towel where you can wipe it off real quick, and then it'll be fine. All right, we mixed all that solution up. It took all of that, so we ended up getting these things coated really good. Ended up coating all the way up to the bases here. I've double checked and made sure that there's no solution here on these horns, because if you get anything at all on these horns, it'll turn it white. And if you do during the process, again, just get some paper towel, wipe it off. It's not the end of the world, but as long as you wipe it off right then and there, it'll be fine. You want to store these overnight. I'm gonna leave these for at least 24 hours. But you don't want to store them overnight like that, because this foam and this solution will drip through. It's going to fall just like it has done here, and you can already kind of see it's foaming up. And so if you were to leave them like this, if it's some bigger bases, or if it's any sort of drop tines or kickers or anything, it can get into that foam, and then that foam will turn it white. So keep them turned up like that. If you got to get something like I've done here, got a little tackle box right there holding that rack up. So do whatever you got to do to keep them held up right. But again, this foam solution, you can put as much as you want, as many times as you want. So if it's not quite as white as you want it the next day, you can always mix some more and add to it and give it a little bit more time. So and that's it. Tomorrow morning we'll be back. We'll rinse this off. I'll show you how white this stuff is going to turn it, and they'll be ready to go, ready to hang on the wall. All right, y'all, next day, and we got them ready to go. About to wash this stuff off. Y'all can already tell. Get you a regular old water hose, just rinse it off, get all of it out. You can tell how white it is. You can kind of see too, got a little bit of a fatty, some meat still stuck there on the bases, but we can get that off easy. You just kind of scrape it off with your finger, or get you a little brush, and it'll come right off. But that is it. Also for this, so we lost 2 teeth here, and then this nose piece. It's inside in the barn. I've already got it whitened and cleaned up, but what you're gonna wanna do there is just I use the fast drying, like as soon as it basically touches, dries, it's like within 5 to 10 seconds. Gorilla Glue makes some good one, but just get you some clear, fast drying super glue. You'll want to just try to fit it before you put it on, just to practice and make sure you know exactly how it goes on. But that nose piece will just basically joint right back in there where it goes. Same thing for these teeth. You're gonna want to get these teeth, put you a little bit of super glue down in there, and then just a drop is all it takes. And all of these that are loose, they're gonna be loose. They're gonna be loose on all of them. Wouldn't hurt to go on the inside here, pull them apart right there, just pull them out and then just put a little bit of a bead down in there to just kind of lock them in place. You don't want to put it on this outside because after it dries, it tends to have a shiny gloss, and you can kind of see it. But it's kind of stuff that I've learned over the years. But we're gonna clean these things up. They're ready to go, ready to be hung on the wall. Just gotta let them dry out. And also, again, remember, if they're not to your preference of white, if you want them whiter, redo this whole process again, and then it'll whiten them up. That's it. That's how you do a European head, European mount, dead, however you want to call it. I hope that helps.